go again on another voyage across the ocean of English. Hi everyone. Hello everybody. We are back together again and I hope you are feeling super duper. Yes, this is the midweek edition of English Addict, coming to you live and direct from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be, wow, it's England. Ooh, we are back. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. Here we are again. We are back together once more with another live stream. Yes. And I suppose the first thing I should say is it feels much cooler today. The huge heat wave that we've been suffering over the past few days has gone. It has vanished. This morning we all woke up feeling cool and refreshed. And I have to say, it feels very nice. It really did put a smile on my face. So we are back together, and yes, we are doing our midweek, our English Addict Extra. My name is Mr. Duncan. I like the English language. I love it. You might even say that I am one of those up there. An English addict. Nice to see you here today. I like to talk about the English language. Sometimes I talk about certain words. Sometimes I will talk about certain topics. Today we are looking at success and failure. Success and failure. In life, it is common for people to succeed, to have success, but also there is always a chance that you will fail. You will have failure. We are looking at those two subjects today, and of course we are talking to you on the live chat. More about that in a moment. And yes, it is lovely to feel the cool air once again blowing up my shorts, and this time I don't need a fan. It is all natural, baby. Yes, we've made it to the middle of another week. It's Wednesday. Wednesday has arrived. I hope you have had a good week so far. How has your week been? Has it been a good week? Or has it been okay? Maybe nothing special happened. Maybe it was just an average week. I think this week it has been exceptional for various reasons, not least of all because of the heat, the high temperature that we have suffered for the past 2 days. Yesterday we had, can you believe it? We had our highest temperature ever recorded in modern times. I have a feeling maybe 1 million years ago, maybe 2 million years ago. Perhaps it was a little bit hotter than yesterday. I don't know, because I wasn't around and we didn't keep records then, you see. We didn't do it. But in recent times we often record things like the temperature or the sea level or various different changes that might occur around the world. And one of those things, of course, is temperature, as I just mentioned. And yesterday we had our highest temperature ever recorded here in England. It got so hot. There were lots of fires breaking out across London. I don't know if you saw the pictures, some very dramatic pictures. It reminded me of the pictures coming from southern Europe as well, where lots of wildfires have been occurring. And of course in the United States, in California, where they often get very large wildfires. I think Canada as well. I think Canada also had some wildfires. And of course, let's not forget Australia. And they had some really serious wildfires last year, if my memory serves me correct. Hello to the live chat. It is very nice to see you here today. It's always a pleasure to have you on the live stream. Can I say hello to Mosen? Hello, Mosen. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. Congratulations. Well done, Mosen. Also, Beatrice is here. In third place, we have Vitas. Hello, Vitas. Nice to see you here again. We also have Palmyra, and once more, he is here. Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Also, we have Omar Al-Haboub. Hello to you as well. Nice to see you back once more. Artem is here watching in Belarus. We also have Inaki as well. Nice to see you here. Yes, of course, you can catch me live with my special live streams, English Addict, every Sunday and Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time. There are still people who don't know when I'm on. So I'm telling you now, that is when you can catch me live here on YouTube. Sylvie is here, who is watching in Houdain in France, which I believe now is much cooler than it was yesterday, which is good to hear. Monica is here. Magdalena, hello to you. I have to work today, but I can listen for a little while to the live stream. Well, you are more than welcome, even if you only stay for a few moments. We are always glad to see you here on the live chat. Hello, Ravan, who is watching in Iraq. Hello to Iraq. Also, we have, who else is here? Eric Alayo. Hello to you. I don't recognise your name. Is it your first time here? Florence, have you seen the news in the UK of one person who has won 195 million on the jackpot? Where is that, though? Whereabouts? Is it in Europe? Is it somewhere else? I haven't heard about it. To be honest with you, when I hear about people winning lots of money, and when I say lots of money, I mean millions, it always depresses me slightly. I don't know why. Not because I'm jealous. Don't get the wrong idea. I don't normally get jealous of other people, but I feel a little sad, a little depressed for those people who have won the money, because I always feel that maybe their life will not be better. Money sometimes can bring nice things your way, but I think if you have too much money, suddenly, I think it can cause lots of other problems. Maybe your relationships will change. Relationships with other people will change. So if you suddenly win a lot of money, and when I say a lot of money, I mean millions. For example, 195 million. I'm not sure what that is, though. Is it euros? Dollars? £5? I'm not sure. I haven't heard the news, you see. Hello also. Can I say hello to Doretta? Doretta Dolores. Ooh, I like your name, by the way. I love that. Very nice. Watching in Germany. A big hello to you. Have you been suffering from the heat over the past couple of days, I wonder? Hello, Farhad is here as well. I am from which country? Can you guess? Well, there are many countries in the world. Many. And because you read a person's name, it does not necessarily mean that you can guess where they're from. Because for all I know, you might be living here in the UK. You might be trying to trick me into saying something else. Oh, Mr. Duncan, how could you say such a thing? Claudia is here. Hello, Claudia. Nice to see you here. Did you enjoy your birthday 2 days ago? Another year older? And I suppose I should show the photographs. Thank you, Claudia, for the lovely photographs that you sent. First of all, a beautiful photograph of Claudia with her father. Oh, isn't that great? So I'm just wondering, Claudia, was this picture taken on your birthday or was it taken on your father's birthday? Because I'm not sure. So there is Claudia with her dad. Isn't that a great photograph? Thank you very much, Claudia. I know it's a very personal photograph as well. So I do appreciate that you sent these pictures to me. Very nice. Here's another one. There is Claudia. Now, I think this must be your birthday. I think so. Because I recognise your orange jumper. That's the reason why. Here's another one. Oh, here is Claudia with all of her friends. Oh, it looks as if you had a lot of fun on your birthday. Can I just say, I think you must have had quite a lot of fun on your birthday. Congratulations to you. I don't know who the ladies are with you, but I imagine they must be very good friends. And finally, a birthday would not be a birthday without a lovely cake. And there it is. Look at that. I do like the fact that you only have one candle. Because a lot of people, normally, if you are a child, if you are a young person, you will have a certain amount or a certain number of candles on your cake. And then that will represent your age. But of course, once you get to a certain age, you can't put all of those candles on your cake. For two reasons. First of all, that the cake will collapse under the weight of all of those candles. And also, it might be a fire hazard as well because of all the candles. But I have to say, that looks very nice. And I can also see some chocolate cakes as well on the table. I have to say, I am a little bit jealous of that. And I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan. You said that you never get jealous of people. Well, I don't normally get jealous unless it's related to food, in which case I can become very possessive, to be honest with you. So thank you, Claudia, and I hope you had a brilliant birthday. And once again, many happy returns for that special day, and here's to many more. Talking of birthdays, did you see what I did there? Talking of birthdays, whilst we are on the subject of birthdays, it will be my birthday in August. So if you want to send something nice to me, maybe a card, or maybe a donation to help my YouTube channel continue forever and ever, you are more than welcome to. But yes, my birthday is also coming up, and that is happening on the 12th of August. I am hoping to do a live stream on the 12th of August with Mr. Steve. I hope so, maybe not. So it all depends at the moment. So we've got no plans at the moment for my birthday, but we might be here with me and also Steve, or we might not. So I'm not sure yet. We will see what happens. The live chat is very busy. A lot of people talking about British politics. Yes, I suppose, well, over the past couple of days, everyone has been distracted by the weather. But now that everything has cooled down again, we are once again talking about politics. Yes, there is a contest taking place at the moment for the leader of the Conservative Party, who will then, of course, become automatically the Prime Minister of this country. It is very complicated, very complex, this particular procedure. So please excuse me if I go on too long. But there is a contest taking place for a new leader of the ruling party, which is the Conservatives. Because old Boris Johnson, good old Boris, resigned last week. So now we are having a contest to find a new leader, and they will automatically become a new Prime Minister as well, even though they haven't technically been elected by the population. They are only actually elected by a few people to become the leader of the Conservative Party. It's very complex, I know, but that is what is happening here, and I'm sending myself to sleep talking about it, if I was honest with you. We also have, hello, Zudzika is here as well. Thank you for joining me today. Udom is here as well. Hello, Udom. Nice to see you back also. I hope you are taking care of yourself and you are staying cool. What is the temperature today in England? It is much cooler today. Yesterday it was around 40 degrees. 40. It's never happened before, but yesterday and also the day before it was incredibly hot. Good news for everyone, especially me and my underwear, is the fact that the temperature has dropped. It's gone down today. It's around 23. So a very big difference. The temperature has almost halved. Isn't that weird? So yesterday, 40 degrees. Today, 23 degrees. Isn't it weird? Isn't the weather strange sometimes? Isn't nature a curious thing? In fact, last night, Mr. Steve and myself, we actually sat outside in the garden until nearly midnight last night. It was such a beautiful evening. It actually felt as if we were on holiday abroad somewhere. But we were just sitting in the garden and it was lovely. We sat outside for about 3 hours chatting, and we stayed out there until just before midnight, and it was still light. That was the weird part. It was still actually light at midnight. Very strange. Oh, and also, whilst sitting in our deck chairs, we were relaxing, looking up at the stars, and we actually saw the International Space Station go across, which was also exciting. So a lovely, relaxed night last night. However, tonight we are not relaxing. We are going out tonight, Mr. Steve and myself, and our very good friend Martin. We are meeting up and we are going to have a curry. Ooh, I'm looking forward to that. So tonight will be a little celebration, really. We are going to have a celebration curry to celebrate my 1 millionth subscriber, which happened about 3 weeks ago. Hello to... Oh, Gulu10 is here. Hello, Gulu. Welcome to you. Thank you for joining me today. Florence is here as well. Do trees affect the cold weather? Well, trees can alter the climate because, of course, they produce oxygen. So they take in all of the horrible stuff, the carbon dioxide, and they produce oxygen. But sometimes, of course, trees can have another effect, which is a cooling effect as well. So yes, it is true, but I think you have to have a lot of trees nearby. I think you have to have quite a lot of trees for that to work. Vitas says, oh, it's only 22 Celsius. Lithuania, only 22. So cool. It's almost cold. It was a very strange feeling this morning when I woke up and I could feel the cold breeze coming in to the bedroom. In fact, it was so hot last night, I slept on top of the bed. I didn't get in bed, I slept on top of the bed. And it was lovely, very comfortable. Ahmed says, so the curry that you are having tonight will be paid for by you, Mr. Duncan. Do you think so? Okay, if you say so. Maybe not. Maybe not. Sometimes when people go out for a meal, there are different ways of doing this. So if 3 or 4 people go out for a meal together and they have different things to eat, so maybe one person will only have one thing, but another person might have 3 things. And then at the end of the meal, of course, you will receive the bill. You have to pay the bill or the check. And there are many ways of doing this. Maybe one person will offer to pay for the whole bill in one go. They will say, don't worry, this meal, I will pay for this meal. The meal is on me, which means I am going to pay for that meal. The meal is on me. It is my treat. However, sometimes people will then split the bill. They will split the amount into the number of people that are there. For example, if there are 3 people at the meal, then you will split the meal 3 ways. So each person will pay a small amount. But the strange thing is, we call this going Dutch. If you go Dutch, quite often it means you will pay for your own meal or your part of the meal. So there are 2 ways of doing it. You can split the meal equally. By that I mean the bill. Or you can do something called going Dutch, which means each person pays their share of the meal. So if I have 3 things, I pay for what I had. And if another person has only 1 thing, they will pay for that 1 thing that they had. And we call that going Dutch, which means that each person pays their own fair share. Hello, Farhad. Hello, Farhad. Sir, is your T-shirt, is your black shirt new? No, it isn't. I've had this T-shirt for many years. If I told you, and you won't believe this, I know you won't believe me, but this particular shirt I've had for over 20 years. I bought this shirt in the 1990s, and I still have it, and it still fits, and it is still in very good condition. So yes, this particular shirt I've owned for a very long time, over 20 years, and it still fits perfectly. Almost. Okay, maybe in certain places it is a little bit tight. That's all I'm saying, nothing else. Victoria says, in Italy, if everybody pays their share, we say they are paying like the Romans. I don't know why. I don't know why either. I don't know why we say going Dutch. If you go Dutch, It means you pay your fair share of the meal. Thank you very much for your lovely company today. I always appreciate it when you join the live chat, because I know you have other things to do in your life. I know we all have a hectic schedule. I think so. Hello, Falguni. Falguni Patel is here. Hello to you as well. Thank you very much for joining me. Today's live chat is our usual Wednesday live stream. And I suppose I would describe today as unsettled, the weather. So there it is right now, looking out of the window. You can see it is not as bright as it was before, but we do have a lot of haze in the air, and I think later we might be actually getting some rain as well. Later on this afternoon we might be getting some lovely cool rain. I might go outside and run around in the rain like Drew Barrymore, laughing and giggling and singing without a care in the world. Hello also to, we have a lot of people joining in today. Oh, thank you. Sanjay. Hello, Sanjay. Nice to see you here today as well. Very lovely. Mr. Duncan, we think you keep your belongings very carefully or safely, or you treat them carefully. So if you take care of something, we often say that you treat that thing carefully. You treat it carefully. So yes, I suppose so. But also this t-shirt, I think it's very good quality as well. So I have washed this t-shirt many times over the years, and it still feels as good as new because it is very good quality. We are having a lot of rain in India, says Falguni. Yes, I think we might be getting some rain today here as well. We might be getting a little bit of rain as well. Oh, look at that. Can you see the hay being transported in the distance? Yes, that was a large lorry carrying lots and lots of hay. Maybe to or from a farm. Ooh, very exciting. That was an exciting moment of time. I hope you enjoyed it. So we are talking about success and failure, the success that you can have in your life. But of course, we can also have failure as well. It's not all good, but then I suppose it's not all bad either. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you have success, and sometimes you have failure. Oh, that Mr. Steve. He is so funny. Dooby-dooby-doo. We are back live. Hello there. If you've just joined me, my name is Mr. Duncan. I like the English language very much. I really do. And I'm glad to see you here today as well. Yes, I do love nature. I love nature very much. Victoria says, I see that you love nature. Yesterday I found a hedgehog in my garden. Did you? I think hedgehogs are lovely. Lovely little animals. They often come out at night. They are shy creatures. They don't like human beings normally. But over the past couple of days, because it's been so hot, I've put some extra water outside. Just in case, maybe, perhaps, there might be a thirsty hedgehog looking for some refreshment in the dark. So that's what I did. A lot of people talking today about the weather. The weather is not so bad today. It is much cooler. Thank you very much for asking. Very lovely. Here's an interesting expression that we sometimes use in English. Have you ever heard of this expression? Wearing two hats, or maybe more than one hat. It is an expression that we often use in English when we want to show that we have responsibility for more than one thing. Maybe you are responsible for a certain thing in one place, but perhaps you have responsibility for something in another place. You might say that you are wearing two hats. In the olden days, a hat was often a sign of authority or power. So that's the reason why in the military you often see people with a high rank wearing hats. So a person who is wearing more than one hat is a person who has more than one responsibility. It is a phrase that we often use in English. Some very interesting comments on here today. Some of them I am not going to repeat because I think I might get into trouble. A lot of trouble, let's just say. So today we are looking at a very interesting subject. I'm sure these two words will mean a lot to you. I'm sure in your life you have come across both of these words. Today we are taking a look at success and failure. Success and failure. Sometimes you will win. Maybe you will win big and have a lot of success. Or maybe you will get an F, which means failure. And we are looking at words and phrases connected to these two topics. And we will start by looking at some words connected to success. Let's start with something happy, shall we? Because there is a lot of misery going on at the moment around the world. Success is a word that means to have reached one's goal or aim. Something you are trying to do, something you are aiming to do, something that you have set as your goal. If you actually achieve it, if you get your goal, if you reach your goal, then we can say that you have success. To accomplish something that has been worked for is success. So maybe something that you want, maybe something you want to gain, maybe something you want to achieve. Quite often you will have to put a lot of work into it. So to accomplish something you do, and quite often to do that you need to put in a lot of hard work. Quite often in life we say that you don't get anything for nothing, especially if you want to achieve success. Success does not come easily. To be a winner or at the highest point is to have success. So maybe you win a contest. Maybe in your company you are the person with the highest sales. You have success in that particular thing. You are a winner. You have success. There are variations of success. There are many ways of expressing success, and there are many ways of using the word success in various tenses. For example, first of all, success is a noun. You are a success. We are saying that that person has reached their goal, or they have done something remarkable, or maybe they have achieved something that is worthy of praise. Success. You are a success. She is a success. He is a success. They are a success. Then we have succeed, which is a verb. You succeed in or at something. So you succeed at a certain thing. You succeed in a certain thing. Maybe a contest or a competition, something you are trying to win. Succeed is a verb. Then we have successful. Successful is an adjective. You are a successful person. Quite often a person who has had a lot of success in their life will be described as successful. And we use that as an adjective to show that that person is successful. To do something successfully, this is an adverb. So you do something successfully. You have done it well. You have done it in the right way. You have done it successfully. You have not failed. You have done it successfully. To do well is succeed. So if you do well at something, you succeed. Maybe you get a promotion at work. Maybe your level of authority becomes higher. You are succeeding. You are starting to climb the ladder. We often describe success as a ladder. Sometimes you have to climb the ladder of success. You have to climb up to reach your goals. You have reached your goal. So if you get to the top of the ladder, if you reach the top of the ladder, we can say that you have reached your goal. You have success. Very nice. Your plans have been a success. So maybe if we are looking back on our life, and maybe the things we wanted to do with our life, maybe the things we wanted to accomplish in our life have been done. We have found success. Your plans have been a success. They all went the way you wanted them. They all went the way you wanted them to go. In another sense, the word succeed means to replace or take over from someone. Quite often in royalty, when we are talking about monarchies, the king or queen, quite often we will use the word succeed, which means to replace or take over from someone. For example, after the Queen dies, Prince Charles will succeed as King of England to take the Queen's place. So Prince Charles will become the King after the Queen dies. He will succeed her. He will take the throne. That is to say, Prince Charles will be the Queen's successor. So when we say that a person is their successor, that is the person who has replaced them. The successor is the person who has replaced the other person who has left or maybe died, perhaps. To be good at running a business and making a large profit is success. I suppose when we think of success nowadays, these days, we often think of businessmen, businesswomen, companies having success. So we often see success as having lots of money. That is a sign of success. So we always think that wealth, having lots of money, is a sign of success. Of course, it isn't always. It is not always a sign of success. It can be something else entirely. Then, a successful business is one that is making lots of money. It is making a profit. So when we talk about a company that is successful, we often mean that it is making a lot of extra money. Profit. That company is profitable. It is successful. It is a successful company. And of course, quite often behind every company there will be a successful person as well. Maybe the manager or the CEO, or maybe there is a board of different people running the company. It is successful. A successful business is one that is making lots of money. It is making a profit. The word success derives from the Latin word for coming close to. So I suppose when we talk about being near the top or almost reaching your goal. But of course, these days we see success as being at the top of your job or your chosen career or whatever your plans happen to be. We see success as being the thing that is at the top. You have reached the top. You have success. I suppose we can't talk about success without talking about failure. It's interesting to note that a lot of people spell failure incorrectly. They often put those letters in the wrong place. They often spell failure incorrectly. In fact, you might say that they fail at spelling failure. Maybe. Here we go then. I don't want to look on the negative side, but we do have to, I'm afraid. The word failure means the inability to reach one's goals or aims, unfortunately. A person who is not successful, maybe something they want to do, maybe something they are trying to achieve, but sadly they don't. We might say that that person has failure. They have failed. To fail is to suffer failure. So a person who fails is a person who has or is experiencing failure. They were not successful. They did not succeed, unfortunately. Despite your effort and hard work, you still have no success. So quite often a person might devote a lot of their life or their time or their money to building a business or trying to create something that they want to run by themselves. A very sad thing that I want to mention. Very close to where I live, on one of the roads that come into Much Wenlock, there is a lovely pub, a public house, where people will often go to have a drink or a meal. And a few years ago, this particular pub closed down and it was abandoned. But then someone else bought it, and it was their dream. Their dream was to own their own pub and restaurant. And so they spent all of their money. They borrowed money and they put all of the money into this business. So they did a lot of work on the building. They made the building look amazing. They put in new furniture. They made it look amazing. Unfortunately, the business was not successful. People did not go to their bar or restaurant, sadly. And so it failed. So that person had put a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money into that business. But it still failed. So just because you work hard and just because you put a lot of effort into doing something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will be successful. It is a harsh reality. It is a hard lesson that quite often we have to learn in our lives, that even if you put a lot of work and a lot of time into something, it can still fail. There is no guarantee that the thing you are doing will be successful. But I think it is very sad, actually, when you see someone putting in all of their money and their time, and maybe that is their only hope in life. Maybe that is their one dream, to have their own bar and restaurant, a place that they can run and be proud of. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it will be successful, unfortunately. To have no success is failure. So maybe in your life you have never had any success with anything, any part of your life. So you might say that to have no success is failure. To have no success at all in your life is failure. I don't think it is possible to have failure in your whole life. I don't think so. I think at some point in your life you must have success somewhere. I don't believe that anyone has failure in their whole life. I don't think it happens, to be honest. But maybe sometimes it does happen. To have no success is failure. A person who has no success with anything. Here we go, some uses of fail and other words connected to it. Fail is a noun, or it can also be a verb. In sentences, we can say, I got a fail in my English exam. I got a fail in my English exam. So if you fail at something, and if someone is giving you a mark or a result, maybe in an exam, we call this a fail. You have failed in your test or your exam. And as a verb, we can say, I think I will fail my English exam. So we are using that verbally. We are using it to show an action. I think I will fail my English exam. Here's another one. Then we have the word failure. Failure is a noun. For example, my attempt to find love always ends in failure. I search everywhere. I go to bars, I go to restaurants, I go to nightclubs. I even tried internet dating. And I had no success. My attempt to find love in life always ends in failure. I suppose the problem was I put a photograph on my profile that was 20 years old, from 20 years ago. So maybe that's the problem, you see. This happens sometimes. Maybe if you go on a dating website, people sometimes will put a photograph of themselves, but not a recent photograph. They will put a photograph from maybe 10 or 15 or even 20 years ago when they looked much younger. We all do it sometimes. We all do it. But of course, the problem is when you meet that person for real, they will suddenly realize that that photograph was actually a photograph taken many years ago. So yes, you can have failure if you are trying to find love, but sometimes that failure might be your own fault. Then we have the word failed. Failed is an adjective. For example, he is a failed actor who needs a job. So when we describe something as failed, it means it was not in the past, or the state of something is a failure. So we might describe someone who has tried to be an actor, but he's never been successful, as failed. He is a failed actor. He has had no success in his attempt to become an actor. Then we have failing. Hello, failing. Failing is a noun, or it can be used as a preposition. In sentences, we can say, your lazy attitude is your failing. So your failing is the thing that is letting you down. The thing that is causing you to be unsuccessful is your failing. Maybe a person drinks too much alcohol, but they want to have a very successful life. Unfortunately, the alcohol is that person's failing, the thing that spoils or destroys their life. And then we have the preposition, failing. I will see you later tonight. Failing that, tomorrow is also okay. So when we are saying that, if not, failing that is another way of saying if not that, failing that. It is used quite often in the English language. Oh, failure can also be the result of not trying. I suppose so. Yes, it is a common thing. A person who is trying to do something, they want to do something, but sadly they fail. And quite often it is their own fault. Maybe they did not try hard enough. Maybe they didn't work enough to get what they wanted. Failure might occur even if a person works hard, as I said earlier, with the lovely little pub near Much Wenlock, which a person decided to buy and renovate. They spent all of their money on that particular place, and it was not successful. Even though they put all of that work, all of that time and energy into doing it, it was still a failure. So failure might occur even if a person works hard. Working hard is not a guarantee of success. It isn't. Here is a common one that I'm sure a lot of people feel in their lives at some point. A person might feel like a failure if their life is not going well. Maybe you are having no success with your career, or maybe you are trying to make yourself a better person, but you keep failing. A person might then describe themselves as a failure. I am such a failure in life. Family. Your family might see you as a failure. There might be a lot of pressure from your family to be successful. And if you don't appear to be successful in your family's eyes, then you might be judged as being a failure. It does happen quite a lot. Parents can put a lot of pressure on their children to be successful. When something expected does not occur, we can describe it as a failure. Something that was going to be great and wonderful and fantastic, but unfortunately, it wasn't. It was a failure. It did not succeed. It was a complete failure. From a philosophical point of view, failure is intrinsic to becoming successful. So we often think of failure as being the end. But it isn't. Quite often, failure can be part of success. So when we say intrinsic, we mean part of that process. Within that process of becoming successful, quite often you will have to suffer failure along the way. So yes, from a philosophical point of view, we often see failure as part of success. Most successful people have suffered some sort of failure in their life. So people don't just become successful from their first attempt or their first try. Quite often they will fail or they will be a failure many times before they are successful. And that is what I said just a few moments ago. We often see failure as intrinsic, as part of the success. So failure is not the end. Always remember that. Say that to yourself. If there is something you are trying to do and it is not successful, remember, failure is not the end. It is not. Some believe that the best way to learn is to suffer failure and learn the hard way. And I think this is true. Life is unfair. Life doesn't always go the way you want it to. If you are trying to be successful, then quite often you might have to suffer failure. You might have to learn the hard way with hard lessons. Things are not always easy in life. Things are not always easy, whatever it is you are trying to do. Success does not come with the first attempt. It comes by not quitting after the first failure. And I love this. I think this is a great, great phrase. Success does not come with the first attempt. It comes by not quitting after the first failure. Which means you don't give up. You don't stop. You carry on. Failure is part of success. And of course, we have a great expression in English. This is a wonderful expression. I love this. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't quit. Keep going. Even if things seem to be not going your way. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Don't stop. Don't quit. You might be so close to success. You might be very near to success. So if you quit now, you might lose everything. If at first you don't succeed, try again. It's very similar to learning English. A lot of people say, Mr. Duncan, learning English is very difficult. Sometimes I can't understand what people say. My advice is to keep going. Don't give up. You are not a failure. Finally, the word failure comes from the old French word for non-occurrence. Something that is a non-occurrence is something that did not happen. So the word failure derives from Old French for non-occurrence. And I suppose I should ask you, have you had failure in your life? Have you ever had a moment of time? Have you ever suffered failure? A failed attempt at doing something? I have to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. I have failed at things in my life. I've had failures. I've had things that I've tried to do and they failed. Maybe something I've wanted to learn, or maybe something I've wanted to try, maybe a hobby or a skill. So just because you want to do something doesn't necessarily mean you will be successful, but you can have failure and still carry on going forward. It isn't the end. Failure is never the end. I sometimes think that I am a failure here on YouTube because I don't have many viewers. But it doesn't matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because you are here. And that is all I care about. So there are times when I feel a little depressed or down about this. I feel as if maybe I am a failure. But then I reassure myself, I use a little bit of positivity, and I realise that I do have success because I have you. Because you come here and we all join in together. And I think this is the friendliest place on YouTube. I do. I don't think there is any place on YouTube that is more friendly than this, because everyone comes here, we have one goal, and we want to enjoy ourselves, we want to express ourselves, but most importantly of all, we want to enjoy the English language. And that includes me as well. So I think failure is something that happens to everyone. Sometimes we might feel a little depressed or low about our situation in life. But I think sometimes it is best not to dwell on that too much. Do not dwell on your failures. Think about all of the success you've had. Think about all of the things that have gone your way. Because life is unfair. Things do not always go the way you planned. Unique Life Design says, Mr. Duncan, my motto is never give up. Never give up. I think that's a great way to end today's live stream on a positive note. Yes, I think if you have a good idea or something you want to work on or something you want to maybe do as a career, I think at first it is always difficult. I always think the first steps are always the hardest. The hardest part of doing anything is taking those first steps. I think so. Beatrice says, I think that everyone has failure at least once in life. It is part of the learning of how to manage our life. I think so, yes, you are right. Failure is part of life. And as I said earlier, failure is also part of being successful. But being successful does not necessarily mean you have lots of money. It doesn't necessarily mean you are wealthy. In fact, sometimes success can be just being happy, having a smile on your face, enjoying the moment. That can also be described as success. Thank you very much for joining me today. I will be going in a few moments. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. A couple of interesting subjects today. The subjects of success and failure. Both of those things exist in life. Lewis says, Mr. Duncan, when I fail something, I try to understand why I failed. I still try once more, and then once more I also fail. In the end, I find the solution, but not every time. Yes, well, that is it. I think you can fail if you have tried many times to be successful. Sometimes it was never meant to be. Sometimes a thing you are trying to do was never meant to be. But you have to be able to tell yourself that you did try. It is okay to fail if you know that you tried your best. I think so. So yes, I think you're right. Thank you, Lewis, for that. Yes, a simple moment of time that makes you smile is success. You have been successful for those few moments of happiness. Thanks for your company. I am going. I will be back with you on Sunday. Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time is when I'm back with you. Thank you very much for joining me. Christian Alexander Moncada Bellerin says, success and achievements. Yes, I suppose you can also say achievements. Your achievements are the things that you've been successful at. The things you have succeeded in are your achievements. Maybe you have passed an exam. Maybe you have been successful in your career and you have a powerful position. They are all achievements. Thank you, Mr. Duncan, for this interesting live stream. Yes, I will be back with you on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time, and we can do this all over again. Don't forget, on Sunday, Mr. Steve will be here. Yes, we have Mr. Steve joining us on Sunday, and we will be talking about lots of things. I'm sure Steve will be talking about the weather. We are going out tonight. For those wondering what I'm doing today, tonight we are going out for a curry with our friend Martin. And that is what we are doing tonight. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your Wednesday. Stay happy. Keep that smile upon your face as you move amongst the human race. And I will see you on Sunday. Don't forget the time. 2 p.m. UK time is when I'm back with you. Until the next time we meet, this is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thank you very much for watching. See you soon, and of course, until the next time we meet here, you definitely know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Oh, Pedro. Hello, Pedro. Pedro Belmont. Ta-ta for now.